All over the world, in every army, they are turning millions of people into machines. Of course, they do it in such a way that you don't understand what is going on. Their methodology is very indirect. What does it mean that thousands of people every morning are marching, following orders? Right turn, left turn, move forward, move backward. Why this circus? And for years it goes on. This is to destroy your intelligence. For years, continuously, you go on following any kind of stupid order, meaningless, every day in the morning, every day in the evening. And you are not supposed to ask why. You just have to do it as perfectly as possible. There is no need for you to understand why. When a person goes through such a training for years, the natural effect is that he stops asking why. And the questioning attitude is the very base of all intelligence. The moment you stop asking why, you have stopped growing. It happened in the Second World War. There was a retired army man. He had fought in the First World War and was a brave, honored man. Now, 25 years had passed. He lived silently on a small farm. One day, he was walking from the farm to the town with a bucket full of eggs. A few people in a restaurant decided to play a trick on him. One of the men shouted, "Attention!" The man dropped the bucket and stood in the position of attention. It had been 25 years since he had gone through that training, but the training had gone into the bones, into the blood, into the marrow. It had become part of the unconscious. He completely forgot what he was doing. It happened almost autonomously, mechanically. The old man was very angry. But those people said, "Your anger is not right, because we can call out any word we want. Who is telling you to follow it?" He said, "It is too late for me to decide whether to follow it or not. My whole mind functions like a machine. Those 25 years, they simply disappeared. Attention only means attention. You destroyed my eggs, and I am a poor man." This is being done all over the world. Armies have been trained not to use their intelligence, but to follow orders. You have to understand one thing very clearly. To follow an order and to understand a thing are two diametrically opposite things. If your intelligence feels satisfied and you do something out of that, you are not following an order from the outside, you are following your own intelligence. I am reminded of another incident in the First World War. In Berlin, a German professor of logic was recruited. They were forcing people to join. They took it for granted that the individual exists for the nation. To me, just the opposite is the case. The society exists for the individual. Individuality is the very flowering of existence. Nothing is higher. The professor was brought to the parade grounds. The commander shouted, "Left turn!" Everybody turned left, but the professor remained standing. The commander shouted again, "Turn to the left!" Again, the man remained still. Finally, the commander asked, "Is there some problem with your ears? Can't you hear?" He said, "I can hear. But what is the point? When everybody finally has to come back to the same state after all this movement, what have they gained?" The commander said, "It is not a question of gaining, it is a question of training." But the professor said, "I don't need any training. You come to the same place after doing all kinds of stupid things. Can you explain to me why I should turn left and not right?" They eventually sent him to the army mess to sort a pile of green peas into big and small. An hour later, he hadn't moved a single pea. He said, "My intelligence feels insulted. Am I an idiot to sort these peas? What is the need? Moreover, there are peas that are big and peas that are small, but there are peas of many other sizes. Where are they going to go? You have not given me any criteria." Orders, disciplines, and guidelines. These have been used by people who wanted to dominate you. To impose an ideal is violence, sheer violence. They are being destructive.